Welcome back, folks. So this is one video of a multi-part video series on responsive design. This one in particular focuses on the use of UI kits. So these prefabricated design systems that have created by different platforms and operating systems for us as designers and engineers to build from, so that we're not creating things from scratch. So to get some technical jargon out of the way, a UI kit simply stands for User Interface Kit. So this is a palette or a toolbox of different components for your product design that have been prefabricated or pre-created by companies like Apple and Google and Windows for different apps and products that you're publishing on their platform. So these UI kits help help provide very basic components of your app, and then it would be up to you as the designer to specify the look and feel and the branding of your product based on the containers and the visual styles that they've provided. Using a UI kit means that you save time and you also ensure that your product is even closer to acceptable or approval rates for getting your products out to market, especially in the cases of the Apple approval process. They're particularly stringent on following their UI kits. So if you start from there, you'll land closer to where you need to be. Using a UI kit that's been prefabricated from these publishers also allow that or also ensure that you don't design unnecessary elements from scratch, since these components most likely live in that ecosystem and have been training their users to use those components. You don't have to recreate them just for your product. You can use the same UI components that exist in other products. So again, you don't have to retrain them, or they don't need to refamiliarize themselves with how those interactions work. These standardized UI kits are available again through the different publishers, and they already follow the launch requirements for each of those individual platforms. As you customize those UI kits, you may fall out of launch requirements. So always check in again with the folks who manage that approval process. We built a relationship when I was working on the Amazon and Windows project with folks at Windows, so we were able to check in with them frequently to conduct user audits and examine kind of the experiences between shopping on Amazon and shopping on Amazon using Windows. So it's a great way to stay in sync with your publishers. If you don't have that access, you may always apply for approval early on in the process and continue to design and build and update based on the feedback that you are given. I would caution strongly against using a community-sourced or crowdsourced UI kit. A lot of these are available online through different websites where you can download design resources. They're great to look at and great ways to inspire your look and feel or your layouts and your components. However, they may not always be designed up to spec or up to launch requirement. So take it with a grain of salt, use it as inspiration, but if you build from it, make sure that they reflect the approval requirements for your platform. Sometimes they'll look great, but you won't be able to actually use the assets without a significant amount of design rework. I link to the most up-to-date design components here. So we have the Apple UI resources, Google Material, and also Windows Fluent. These resources mean that you can actually download the components and design from them directly so that you'll actually get working files. So it's a lot easier than reading the guidelines and then having to create the design assets from scratch in your design program.